Welcome to this new video. This time I want to talk to you about vulnerability scanning with Nmap. As you know, Nmap is a very powerful network scanning tool, and one of the functions that it has is that it allows you to perform vulnerability scanning by utilizing scripts. It automates the tasks for you. So let's talk about it. So in a previous video right here, I talked about vulnerability identification and research, and I show you how to go to different websites to check for identified and discover vulnerabilities. And we talked about three or four different websites that you can go and you can check and you can subscribe when you are looking for vulnerabilities that may be affecting your systems. And all that is good. That is part of best practice, especially subscribing to the websites to receive vulnerability notifications, right? As I mentioned in the video, it's not only a good thing to do if you're following or implementing a cybersecurity framework in your organizations. That's one of the requirements. Now, um, if you're the network administrator of the organization or the network security engineer, some of your functions need to always be testing and probing and checking the security posture of your systems, right? New applications, new server, new services. So Nmap allows you to do a lot of things. So let me bring this up. If you go to Nmap, the NSC documentations, you can come here and you could see that they have different categories for different scripts so that you can invoke them and get the results that you want. So there are over 600 scripts, I believe, at this moment, and they're always updating. And those are the scripts that come with Nmap, meaning that you don't have to buy them or you don't have to install them separately when you install Nmap, no matter which version you install, be it on Windows or Mac or Linux, they are going to be there for you. And you could come to the categories section and see if there's script for specific functions. For instance, if you use AFP, right, you could maybe use a script to test the security configuration settings of AFP by invoking the AFP brute force um, script. So as you could see, there are many. We're not gonna go over all of them. I just wanted to show you the different categories, how to get to the categories. If you come here, the other useful thing is that if you click on any of the scripts, it is going to show you how to use it. It is going to give you the syntax because there are certain scripts that you could add other options or not. So it'll show you right here, right? So as you could see, it's going to show you, oh, you have to specify the port, the target, plus all this information. So this is useful. Now, if we're using, in this case, I'm running my test on a Parrot security system that I use for testing purposes. Let me check something in here. So let me show you again, like you don't have to know where the scripts are, but it's just good to know where the scripts are, right? So if you come to CD, let me go to the root directory where the scripts are in Linux. So here you have, I'm gonna have the name user. No, okay, I believe they are in cd share, cd Nmap, and then here they are. You're gonna see Nmap services scripts right here. That's a directory. So you go, not that. Okay, as you could see here, we have all this, and you could um, have an idea of what they do even just by looking at the name. But again, if you want to know more about the script, you can go to the website, go to the specific script you're looking for, whatever that is, and that's going to give you more information about the script, and it's going to show you the syntax for the script. So once we're here, um, it is super simple to use them. Let me just give you a couple of examples, right? If you are running a enumeration on one of your web servers, you could use the Nmap HTTP enumeration script or enum. And in this case, I'm going to be running this against scanme.nmap.org, or you could obviously you would like to run it maybe against your own HTTP server. So it's super useful. Just type in the command, then this is the command script, but slash script to call the script, and then you will run it, right? And this actually didn't run as suspected. Sometimes, did I type this right? As you could see, this is the version of Nmap I'm using, 792. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this in 1 second. So the other, again, there are many different scripts. We're not going over all of them, but these are useful if you want to use the uh, DNS, if you want to discover the DNS records on on a DNS zone. You could use like the DNS brute force, or this is the useful one that I wanted to talk to you about, and it could be useful depending on the configuration. So let me go back here. Hold on a second. So as you could see, all these scripts are the default that comes with Nmap configuration, but there are third-party companies or organizations that they do publish scripts that you could use with Nmap. So what you need to do is go in there, downloading, and then run them, right? And they tell you the syntax to run them. But one of the popular scripts, we should say, is the Volskin. And what it does is a vulnerability scanning script. So, it does the function of a vulnerability software, but it's script and the results is on the command line. It is super useful to use. The command you would use the service discovery script. It just so happens that the NSC script, I have it in this folder, so I have to specify where that is. And this is the host. So let me just run this. It's going to take some time, and I'm going to come back here. And so you want to get that script from, in this case, from computech.ch. So you go to the main site, and then, or you can go directly to GitHub. And then in this case, I go there, I go to the download page, and they're not hosting that anymore. So you go to GitHub, and then you come here, and it's super simple to install and copy. It just says, just copy, into this directory, then copy the code and download it and then run it. So what that's going to do for you, it is going to run a series of vulnerability scanning functions on the host, and the vulnerability scannings are the signatures that the scripts is calling for and maintaining. These are some of the database they have to determine whether something is vulnerable or not, right? So if I come back here, oh, this is gonna take some time. Okay, there you go. So it ran the vulnerability scan on my host. Now, this is a good thing to do, if your options are limited, but I wouldn't use this in a complete production environment. I would use it case by case. But if you don't have a vulnerability scanning solution, you could use this. But again, there are better options out there when it comes to vulnerability scanning. Is either you're looking for something specific, right? You could run some of the specific scans. For instance, I believe this one right here, if you want to run like a specific SQL injection against one host, or if you want to know if that host is vulnerable to SQL injection, you run that specific script and it'll tell you if that device, that host, is vulnerable or not. But if you run like hundreds of scripts on one host in the command line, this is hard to read and hard to see. But again, I'd rather have this than not having anything. And then what you could use, if you know what you're looking for, you can grep out the result and get the information that you are looking for right here. I'm going to create a video at another time how to use OpenVAS. That is a more complete vulnerability scanning function or solution, and is open source and is free. Of course, it is limited, or you could use uh, the different commercial vulnerability scannings like Nessus. I mean, I believe they still give you a trial version for you to use with limited capabilities, but it's useful. Again, if you want to run that against a couple of hosts in your network, or if you're part of or an organization, then you have to talk to management to justify the investment of the software. So you could use that in here. You have different scripts, and again, like for instance, right here, um, if you are doing the SQL injection that I did before, is the results came out clean. If it would have found something, it would have told you right there, like the system is vulnerable. So you could run that against specific vulnerabilities that you have researched for in the past. And again, you have, if you come back to Nmap down here, let me to the list, to the categories, you could do brute force if you know the application you're using for or that you have in your system. You can try to brute force it, MySQL. You could do SQL enumerations and all of this. So that's how you can use Nmap. It's not only a network discovery tool, you can use the scripts and take it one step further to allow you to protect and secure your network. So again, like this is something that is going to take time. If you're learning or if you're using this, just go through the categories. I would advise you this. Go through the different options, click on the scripts and learn the syntax, how to use them and learn more about them. And if you're doing a security assessment in your organization, then you can start using specific things against specific systems. Again, always be careful, especially when you come down to the uh, there are some scripts that they could, you know, if you don't use them correctly, they're gonna have uh, major effect on your systems. If you're trying to do the denial of service scripts, you're going to be sending a lot of traffic out there. So just be careful with these, how you're using them, but you have the options to use them. Again, so this was another video. I hope that this video was useful to you. Um, I didn't go deep into that many things. It's very hard, but I showed you an overall information of how to go into the different options and do the testings and evaluate for vulnerabilities. Again, if you find this information useful, I would really appreciate if you click on the like button and you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or if you would like me to talk about or expand a specific topic, let me know and I'll consider that. I hope you have a great day and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.